I know that we spoke about this a little bit, but like moving to LA, and I think a lot of people are like, whoever's watching this might be like, should I move? Whatever. I'm gonna ask each one of you one thing you hate about LA, one thing you love, and one thing you hate about Albany or wherever. And then
we can talk about Albany all day.
So one pro, one con of here,
Yep.
and then one pro and one con of where we came from.
Yep.
Yeah, Cass, you start. I got to take a piss.
I'm starting. Okay, well, we'll start with home, New York. One pro is that everybody that I actually care about is there. Yeah, I mean, just family and friends.
Sure.
And stuff like that, yeah. A con is nobody else is there. It's just
because there's like
them
4
and
people.
then-
There's 4 people in your hometown.
Yeah, it's just them and then nobody else, and then maybe a couple other photographers that I decided to move with. And pros and cons of LA. The biggest pro is that there's a lot of people to meet, and just like the thing is, like if you surround yourself with other people that are interested in what you're doing, and they're all young and they all have this energy for resetting cameras now for shooting photos and being creative and making things, and you're going to learn how to be a better creative just by being around those people. And New York had that to offer a little bit. Where I was from, Chatham, New York, it was kind of like upstate. So like, you want to hit this one too after you're done. There are like a lot of older established artists that are probably like in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s that are all really amazing and you can learn a lot of stuff from, but they don't have like this young new energy, and they're not like on the cutting edge of like kind of like what you were talking about. You went to this Adobe like seminar or whatever. Like none of the people from upstate New York are going to those.
Yeah, it was none.
Yeah, it was just you pretty much out of all of upstate New York probably. So whereas there were probably about 20 people from LA that went to that, maybe more. You know, you said there are a lot of people in attendance. So that's one thing. There's just a lot more creativity, and you just surround yourself with it, and you'll just get better. And the biggest con is traffic. I fucking hate traffic. It's the only time I'm ever actually angry at the world.
Fair enough.
Just like sitting and watching people just like there's a green light and people are just looking at it like,
I will say,
well, what is that?
one crazy thing right here I've noticed is like with red lights here, like you have to legit wait like a second and a half because people are still finishing that, like going through that red.
Oh, I'm not going to incriminate myself. Yeah, never mind.
I'm like, that's so much because like
No, the rule in LA is green, you're good. Yellow, speed up a little bit. Red, you gotta stop.
Yeah, I know. Is
that the rule? Is that how that
For
works?
the most part.
That's the LA rule.
Oh, I don't know.
That was my rule in New York. If I saw yellow, I was like, I got this.
Yeah, this is me in New York. Yellow, check the rear view, check the sides. All right, we're good. Let's go. But no, not here.
You actually? Oh, you go fast.
I just go faster.
Okay, yeah,
than
you do. Okay.
But yeah, the other day I probably went through like 13 red lights.
You don't go through red lights. You go through yellow lights faster.
Anyway,
disclaimer.
Yeah, you said you don't want to incriminate yourself. And then you
it was pretty
incriminate
obvious I did
yourself.
something wrong.
Yeah.
So, all right. So 2 things. So positive about New York, thing I hate about New York,
Yeah,
and then same thing for LA.
sure.
All right. So, I mean, my family's in Albany.
Sure.
I miss them.
Real
Like,
original.
yeah. I mean, same shit.
Copy and paste.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Um,
That's how he got his master's.
Big
Good
fact.
big fact right there. Yeah. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing. My family's there. There's really nothing else there. Did you talk about the lack of creativity there? Jesus Christ, I'm copying and pasting you right now.
Well, just a lack of creatives.
Okay, yeah, so I'm going to say the lack of
Huge.
creativity there.
And like also what I said was all the creatives that are in upstate New York or in that area are established, you know,
Okay,
have
yeah.
been kind of doing it their whole life. Like I know plenty of photographers that are in their 60s in New York
Yeah.
that I've learned a lot from. Like, you know, people that used to own magazines and people that were interior designers. And
Okay, yeah, so
all
this-
that kind
this
of
is a little bit
stuff,
different
But they're
then.
all in their 60s.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Whereas-
I found that it's really difficult to stay inspired in Albany. Like I found a real long wave of inspiration, then I lost it really quick. And then that's like right around the time we all moved here. Because I felt like we kind of just did what we had to do there, and then it was
I mean, I will agree with that. I mean, I think one of the issues with Albany is that Albany's not that big. I mean, even if we're talking population, but just picture wise, it's like if I look at one of your photos, but yep, I know that bridge. It's Washington Park. It's you know you can pinpoint because there's not that. I mean, nothing wrong with. I mean, Albany's beautiful in its own right, but it's a box
for sure. And like with the type of photography that we all do, like with like fashion photography, like there's only so many people you can work with. They're just like in general, there's only so much you can do there. So like once you work with,
like I know that bridge and I know that model.
Yeah, and we've shot there 6 times. So like, what else?
And so is everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. So like, you can only be so original so many times, and you can only think outside of the box so many times in that little box of a city. Los Angeles. I mean, I love. You can just be yourself here. You can pretty much do anything you want.
You get lost a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you can literally get lost and still find inspiration and do whatever you want.
That's how you find inspiration.
Yeah, exactly.
Like.
Yeah. Some of the people here are great. Some of the people aren't so great. That's one of the things I don't like.
In like the sense of, what do you mean by not so great?
There's a lot of inauthenticity here. That's what I found.
Disingenuous.
Is that the right word? Is that the word I'm looking for?
Oh no, it's just
same word. Yeah.
Synonym.
Yeah. That's one thing I really.
Scrabble out here.
What's that?
We're playing Scrabble out here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Scrabble?
We're playing Scrabble out here, like with
Different
words.
words.
Yeah. Just like a lot of people I don't like.
Yeah.
The traffic is crazy, but the biggest thing I do like is just like the
sense
sense
of
of
more as Stratego. You guys ever play that?
No.
Nope. Never even heard of it.
I don't even know what that is.
Well, in Stratego, it's like almost like you have your pieces and you have their pieces, but you can't see what any of their pieces are.
So dominoes.
No, it's like they're all set up on the board and you move them around to like win.
Oh.
It always comes back to dominoes with Alberto.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
I'm starving, bro. I haven't eaten since we went and got those
tacos last night?
Yeah, from 8:00 or some shit.
Or Guess Who? That's a good one.
That is a
I've
good
never
one.
played that.
Where's Waldo?
No, the Guess Who game where you have them and you
The
flip
cards,
them up.
and it's like you have to like
because
you
don't know what
do they have
anybody's-
brown hair? Do they have blue hair? Whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't know what anybody's
teaches you how to
face is
profile.
like out here.
Literally.
Their real face.
For cops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They probably teach that in the academy.
Right.
The first training is Guess Who.
That's so fucked up.
Is he white?
That's awful.
Is he guilty?
So bad.
Put them all down.
There's always truth
But
to
like,
a
no,
joke.
to wrap my portion up. I just like the creativity, and just like my growth in LA has been crazy. So, shout out to you guys and shout out to LA for that.
There you go.
Yeah.
What about you, Alberto?
Oh man.
How's Pearl Street?
All right. I guess we'll start with New York. I mean, hate to say it, but yeah, no. For me, it's at the same time. Most of my best friends and my family's in New York. That's obviously
It's a given. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a given. All my favorite restaurants are in New York and stuff like that. Just like because we've lived there for 20x years.
Yeah.
We're accustomed to it. Jeez, that thing rings like a fucking.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. We're just accustomed to the things that we're accustomed to. Like we know what we like and stuff. Especially as New Yorkers, we know what we like. We know what we want to do. We know when we want to do them.
Mm-hmm.
I think, obviously, specifically talking about Albany again, it is a box. Positive thing is that it can, if you're good, a lot of people will recognize it really quickly.
That's very true.
However, that can also lead to like a false ego where like you think you're there are so many kids in Albany that just think they're the best at what they do. It's like, bro, you haven't stepped out of Albany. Like, just go down 2 hours to Manhattan. You'll realize that you're garbage, bro. Like, you're
Fair
actually trash in the most positive way. Like, there's so much you need to like learn. There's so many different styles and so many new things that are just like completely like putting you like out of service. Like, there's so many things, and that obviously is a positive for LA too. Manhattan is another big, place to be, but LA is like the entertainment place to be, where it's mostly photographers and videographers and stuff over here. So that's, I guess, a mixture of positive and negatives for New York. Another negative for New York is,
I really like that point you made about the ego thing.
Yeah, I guess I don't really know how to answer this question because they go hand in hand. But another part about New York is that there are a lot of good people, especially back in home in Albany, but they've just been conditioned, whether it's parents or friends or just the way they were growing up, to just like stay at home and do whatever their parents are doing, do whatever their friends are doing, whether it's, just go to, your state job and stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with it.
Not taking risk.
Yeah, not taking risks. And like I literally know friends whose like parents straight up discourage them. Like, oh, you want to try this? Definitely not. Like, you're gonna fail. Like, I
It
know.
breeds comfort.
Yeah, and like they just don't know that, like, oh, my parents are saying this, my friends are saying this, or my boyfriend and girlfriend are saying this and stuff like that. Like, of course I can't try this. Like, I'm not going to be able to do it. That's a huge problem in upstate New York, or just I feel like in most small towns, as a matter of fact, which is a huge negative. Obviously, New York, Manhattan, that's a completely different thing.
Sure.
So they're two, it's separate. But what I like about LA, just the fucking spontaneousness about it. Is that a word? Spontaneousness?
Yeah.
Spontaneity.
Spontaneity. Yeah. I
Okay.
can't pronounce that word.
Spontaneity?
Spontaneity?
Is it spontaneity? Or
We're playing
spontaneity?
Scrabble today.
Spontaneity.
Spontaneity.
Is it spontaneity your word?
No.
Well, I would
Continuity?
I don't know.
So
Definitely.
the spontaneity of
Yeah,
Alright.
but like you literally can walk down the street, go to a club or go to a bar, coffee shop, or end up at an event, and you'll meet a celebrity or a director or something like that, and you will have no idea. Like that just doesn't happen anywhere else, like usually, except for major cities like New York and LA. But specifically, in my experience, I've met the most celebrity type people in LA just from being out, which is a huge plus. But then again, it goes back and forth because in this industry, because everyone here wants something, from everyone wants something from each other. Yeah, which goes back to the being fake part that Connor mentioned. Just like it never feels like people actually want to be friends with you or actually wants to work with you. They just want to see like what they can get out of you.
Sure.
So there's a lot of just like plus and minuses that go back and forth.
it's like everyone's a stepping stone.
Yeah, it's true.
Like I can get a good photo out of you because you know so and so, and then once I get that, I can use
then I
them
can
as a
hit up your
stepping stone.
friends and
Yeah.
stuff. And like I'm sure we're all guilty of doing that ourselves in smaller scales, but
Yeah.
here it's like normal. And we had a director on for the podcast before we talked about it. Just like you'll notice that in other places in the world, people were like, "How are you doing today?" and stuff like that. Or like when they first meet you, they're like, "Who are you friends with?" and stuff like that. A lot of people in LA are just like, "What do you do?" That's like the question. That's how you introduce
That's a
yourself.
greeting.
Yeah, like what do you do? Like what can I get out of you, or
Yeah.
how can I benefit? Stuff like that.
And it sucks too because like you learn kind of how to like curate your response to like make people like engage.
don't.
That.
Fuck 'em.
Yeah.
I don't think that California is any more utilitarian than anywhere else. Like because New York is very much like that, but
Yeah.
California is very like a little bit more like they're doing it from behind a curtain kind of thing. Like you don't really know what a person's intentions are.
Would you say
off
it's like
the bat.
transactional then? Like
No, I think New York has the same exact shit. I think it's the same in LA as New York, except that in New York, people are like, "This is what I want to use you for. This is how I'm going to use you."
They're just more blunt about
This
it.
is
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know,
They're not
blah,
hiding
blah,
it.
blah blah blah. Like whereas in California, they'll be like, "Oh, like kind of what you're saying.
try to
Like,
bullshit you.
what can I use you for, and how can I kind of make that work for me, rather than kind of move forward in the direction of like what this product we want to put out or this video or whatever it is." So that's I think that's kind of I don't think like I said I don't think it's any different in New York. It's just that in places like New York they're just very more honest about it.